gotta take a loss. Never try to take me out, cause I'll just make it back. I'm a king up in the streets, and I'm a boss in the trap. They say that I'm a king, they say that I'm a king. When I pull up and the doors up, they say that I'm a king.
What up, guys? It's Sky, Appliancer best deck, bitches. This motherfucker put in so much work. The way I have it set up is just completely anti-meta. Fuck you. We were playing again today, and in one single game, I've outed a Rainbow Neos, a Red Eyes Dragoon, and a Bowl Sword Dragon. So I'm gonna just say it's some minty shit here.
Spicy.
Yeah, we're gonna start with my trap lineup. Triple Lost Win. Lost Win is my favorite trap in all Yu-Gi-Oh! The fact that you can negate a special monster's effect and permanently cuts the attack in half permanently, and if they go to spell summon again, you can just reset it. You're playing 3 traps that double as 6 traps. And because I can't fucking stand Rainbow Neos and Dragoons, I'm main decking 3D Barrier. Person with this is that they're either going to play the card or they're going to make Verde, in which case if they play the card, you just chain the D barrier to it. However, if they're playing Verde, wait for them to pay the cost for Verde, send their fusion, chain your D barrier, call fusion. You can't summon Dragoons. They're locked out special summoning because Verde's condition. And they lost 2K. Feels really good after that. Those are all the traps. You're playing 6 because of Lost Win, you're kind of playing 9. Going to the power 1-ofs and Appliancers. It's terraforming and 1-for-1. The entire deck is level 1 machines. That 1 rely on a field spell, and 2 they're level 1, so 1-for-1 in terraforming. Going on with this, I'm playing 2 Infernal Reckless Summon. I'm assigned to do the Infernal Recklesses over the machine duplications, to where previously I was playing both. Infernal Reckless is inherently better for this style of deck, because it has so much searchability and so much is summoning from the deck already, that by the time you hard draw a machine dupe, you could be out of targets. To where Infernal Reckless, you always have the targets because Infernal Reckless will summon from the deck and the graveyard. Interruption. I have 2 Book of Eclipse. It's a it's an AoE Book of Moon. Your opponent's going to draw a card for every card not flipped by it, but who fucking cares? You're playing Link monsters. Your cards aren't going to be flipped, so you can just go do your shit. If there's no cards to flip face up because of Book of Eclipse and there's no drawing. Playing level 1, so we're playing 2 Where Art Thou? Where Art Thou is just a generic level 1 searcher. If you can't normally, you're going to take some damage, but it gets you what you need. Because this deck circles its monsters so much, I'm playing triple Pot of Avarice for the draw card. With how much you can just get your appliances to the graveyard, how much you can manipulate the Link 1s into just filling up your graveyard extremely fast. Pot of Avarice is good to recycle them and get your +2. Next, 3 copies of Appliancer Reuse. Appliancer Reuse is a monster reborn for Appliancers. You target one, bring it back. However, when it leaves the field, you shuffle it back into your deck. Next, in my opinion, this is one of my favorite field spells ever printed. Appliancer Electrical World. The reason why this is one of my favorite field spells is because it does everything that the archetype needs it to do. On activation, it searches an Appliancer. When an Appliancer is Link summoned, it pits an Appliancer from your graveyard back to your hand. Once per turn, during either player's turn, as a response to a card's activation or an attack, you can pit an Appliancer from one zone to another zone. You can swap the zone of 2 Appliancers. The reason why this is good is because the Appliancer Link monsters have effects that trigger when they are linked, and when they are not co-linked, and when they are linked. Yeah. When they're not co-linked and when they are co-linked is their wording. So, with Electrical World, you can kind of pick and choose when you want those effects to kick off. Whether or not during a certain situation you want their unlinked effect or you want their co-linked effect. For the monster lineup, we are doing a combination of a few different things. We are playing some One of Outs, being DD Crow to hit the graveyard, and Gamma Seal to see Turtle Kaiju. Hit the graveyard, Kaiju over for something that you couldn't get out of before. And we're playing a small little Cybers package, being triple Formid Skipper. Formid Skipper can change its name to any of the Appliancers, and then be used in the Appliancer material, which is good. It's also a level 1 that is searchable off of 1-for-1 and or Arthal. Fun fact, DD Crow is also searchable in this deck because it's level 1. Then because of the Cybers package, we're playing 2 Parallel Exceed. So, you would link away the Formid Skipper summons Parallel Exceed, pay Parallel Exceed in chain, Parallel Exceed summons itself to the zone to link monster points to, summon the second Parallel Exceed from your deck, and then you make your ring 4. Next to the actual Appliancer monsters, we got the MVP Breaker Buckle here. Breaker Buckle is a level 1 water machine monster that has a hand trap and a graveyard quickie. The hand trap says you can discard it, a monster cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Quick effect is you can banish this card, protect it from card effects and by battle, and you take no battle damage involving this card. Three copy, and 3 socket. Both of these have effects to where if you control an Appliancer, you can special summon it. However, the difference in these two are, Socket Roll says if you summon a second copy of Socket Roll, you can summon a third copy of Socket Roll from your deck. Copy Boicle here targets an Appliancer on your field, changes its name, and then special summons it. It resolves, will change its name to Socket Roll, and then you summon Socket Roll from the deck right there. Copy Boicle also has a graveyard effect to where you can banish a copy of itself, target an Appliancer on your field, and summon an Appliancer with the same name from your deck. So, link spam. Moving on to the extra deck, we are playing 3 Appliancer Lawn Dragon. It's my favorite Appliancer. It's the strongest one at 1500, however, neither player takes battle damage from attacks involving this card. If this card is not co-linked, after damage calc, it will instantly destroy your opponent's monster and it will burn them for its attack points. If it is co-linked, instead of destroying the monster, you can banish the monster. So you can just about out anything with that. Next, we're playing 2 Dryer Drake. Dryer Drake has 0 attack. If Dryer Drake is co-linked, it gains 1000 attack. Whoopee. If it is not co-linked, it can negate a battle involving it. However, Dryer Drake also has a third effect, to where most of the Appliancers only have 2. Dryer Drake has a third. Dryer Drake's third effect is you can target itself and one other Appliancer and swap its zones. Meaning you have another way to trigger off your Appliancer monsters' linked and co-linked effects. We have 2 copies of Vacufant. Vacufant, if he is not co-linked, you can discard a card, destroy any card on the field. If he is co-linked, you can target any monster your opponent controls in the main monster zone and destroy it. This card can also attack your opponent directly. It's a 1k beat stick that you can jack up with cards later down the line to start to slowly apply pressure on this control-based deck, and also slowly start to, one by one, remove your opponent's answers. 2 Kappa Scale. Kappa Scale here will tribute itself. If it's not co-linked, it will bring any of the main deck Appliancers back from the graveyard. If it is co-linked, it will bring any of your link monsters back. So your 2 Kappa Scales basically acts as another copy of every and all Appliancer. Moving on to the boss monster of the deck, Link 2. 2 copies of Appliancer Selectopus. Appliancer Selectopus cannot be targeted or destroyed by battle or card effects as long as there's an Appliancer linked to it. For every co-linked Appliancer onto Selectopus, during damage calc, the Appliancer will gain 1000 attack for every co-linked Appliancer. Because this happened during this damage calc, your opponent cannot stop it. Your weakest one is 0 attack, with a max cooling turns into 2K, Dryer Drake turns into 3K, Vacuum Fan turns into 3K, and Lawn Dragon turns into 35. All during damage calc. If an appliancer that is not code linked to this card is destroyed, you draw a card. Selectopus is... he's good, but I also don't really like him. You play him because he's good for the deck, not because he really advances any of the game states. Quite possibly my favorite card in the extra deck. When I was building this the first time, I thought the deck needed more offensive pressure, more OTK pushes. So we're playing 1 Crusadia Equimax. When it's a deck that's evolving around being linked and co-linked. Equimax has 2 down point arrows, just like Selectopus. However, Equimax can benefit off of their low attack stat. With example, having an Equimax with that, let's say just these 2. By the way, if you only have these 2, it's like the worst Appliancer lineup to have in your field, but this is worst case scenario. If this is your Equimax lineup, even with nothing left on, like with you don't have an opponent's card pointing to it, your Equimax is at 3K. You have a no cost pop of a monster. Equimax is going to go in for the 3K. Dryer Drake is going to switch these zones during his damage calc. Your Equimax is now 4K. Because now that Dryer Drake is co-linked, Dryer Drake gains 1,000, 1,000 of that, 1,000 of that, 2K plus the 2K. And you already got your free pop from the Vacuum Fan. Just because Equimax says they can't attack doesn't mean I can't use their fucking effects and jack up Equimax even higher. Best case scenario is that. Because with this with the field spell. Equimax would be at 45. Equimax would attack after the attack proceeds. You would then go to use Vacuum Fan. You would attempt to use the field spell after the destruction of the monster. Move Lawn Dragon to a different zone. Now that Lawn Dragon is not linked to the Equimax, Lawn Dragon can attack and burn your opponent for the attacks out of their highest monster. And that's just some of the cool things you can do with this. It's not like the deck's good or anything. It's just, yeah. Moving on to different things, because this is a deck that kind of just like jerks off the link zone mechanic. We have a Saruja Skull Dread in order to just +3 on your opponent for no fucking reason other than like you need cards. And because we're playing the Cyberburst package, Goosker. Goosker only stops the effects of defense position monsters. My link monsters can't turn to defense position, therefore my link monsters still get their effects and can still do battle. It's better than any of the Utopia packages in my opinion, because of that fact where my link monsters can still do their regular shenanigans, my opponent can't. And really if your opponent out makes it 3 turns on a Baguska, then they're in a position they're so far behind anyway because of the pressure you've been applying with the link monsters that it doesn't matter. With that, I am the Machine King, the Machine God, the one, the true, and the only. And you have a good day.
That shit sharp, for the light you give, chugging up all night you, for the light you give.
Like and subscribe to Metagame. Hit the bell icon